Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to change a broken handle on this Dewalt miter saw. The model I have is the DW705, and what I found out when I went to order a part for this is there's several types, and I'll show you a close-up of this thing right here. Okay, so here's the tag on this thing. You see right there, it's the model number DW705, and if you look right underneath that, and I missed this the first time, I ended up calling customer service, and that's where I figured out where this was, is a type 4A. So that's how I know which part to order for my saw. So right here, mine says it's a type 4A. So when I got it, I ordered it on Amazon, and I was just very specific that it said in the description that it fit the model DW705 type 4A. And I've looked at it, and it looks to be the exact same one. So looks like it's gonna be something really simple. I haven't done it yet. I've never done one of these, but it looks pretty simple. Basically, there's 4 screws in here that hold the handle together. And while I'm taking these screws out, I'm going to talk about something, because sometimes you may have a trigger problem too. My trigger was fine. The only thing that happened is the handle itself broke. So all I need to do is just replace the handle, but you can buy kits also that replace the trigger and everything. And one thing I've noticed with the trigger ones, you do have to change some fittings. I think the other ones screw on or something, and then the newer ones come with spade fittings, so you have to change out the spade fittings on them, but it doesn't really look that hard either. But the big thing on this when you're ordering it, make sure that you order for the type that you have. Because I watched several videos on this when mine broke, and people got, oh, this wasn't really quite the right one, and they made it fit, and this, that, and the other, but you just got to make sure you look at that type. Okay, so that's those 4 things. And if you look right here, the trigger has got screws in it. The newer triggers come with spade fittings, so you got to cut these off and put the spade fittings on and then slide them on, but it's still no big deal. So I'm going to take my phone and I'm going to take a picture of this before I take anything off, so I'll make sure I get all this stuff back together. So I'm just taking a nice little photo right there. So I'll make sure I got everything. When I go to put it back together, I put it back in the right place. So now there's just 4 more screws that actually hold the handle itself on. And of course, I do have this thing unplugged. So there's 4 screws that'll take the handle off. Okay, I want to show you something real quick. This is the screws that come out of the handle, or up here, that hold it onto the saw. They're the fine tooth or the fine threads. The coarse thread ones go on the handle, so remember that. Okay, so there's 2 more screws right here that are the hold down for the electrical cord, so we're going to have to take those out also. So it looks like it's a T15. So now take that back. You need a T20 and a T15 Torx head screwdriver. So that should slide out of there. I have pictures of all this, so. Oh, there's another screw. Take that back again. So the switch has got a screw that holds it in place too. It's a T15 also. There's a clip. There's a clip on that right there. I'm gonna look at this other one. Yeah, it's got the same thing. So there's a little clip down here. I'm not exactly sure how to get that thing off there. We'll go grab a flathead screwdriver, see if I can pop that clip off. Let's see if we can figure out how to pop that thing off. Okay, so I got the clip off. I think that should go back on there okay. I'll put that in my bowl with all my other pieces. Now it should pull out. Okay, so we got all that piece off. Oh, there's another screw hiding in there. Now that's going to should be another T20 there. That's the main one holding the main piece on there. that piece, save that screw. That's a shorter screw, so that's a different screw than all the rest of them. So now we got this piece here. That's what came off. This is what goes back on. Everything looks identical to it so far, so hopefully it's going to work out well. So to put that on there, we got to get all these wires through here. So we're going to have to disconnect. We're going to have to disconnect all these and run them through that thing. So we got the black on the right where they're marked, red, yellow, black, black. So we need to take those off and run those through. Okay, so we're going to have to take these off. That's going to be the T15 again. So we're going to have to pull these off. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pull this wire loose. Just take the wire nut off it, separate it, and then run all of our wires up through this hole. And we'll go ahead and put our short screw. Okay, I thought I lost that one. I'll go ahead and put that little short screw back in there and go ahead and secure this thing down so it won't move around on us. Okay, so I have that screw back in there. So the next thing I need to do, I think, is to go ahead and put my cord back. And so that just slides down into that little thing. And these are our two of our 4 small screws, which were these right here. I'll put those in there. That was a T15, I think. That was the first one that was a T15. Okay, so we want to reconnect our 2 white wires and the wire nut. Just putting the same wire nut back on it. And that can just sit down in there, out of the way. The black wire needs to come around on this side to our switch. The yellow and the reds need to go over here to this side over here. I guess they got these little doohickeys. I guess that one could be tucked down inside there. Oh, this was a spot for it. There's a spot for it. We can run the 2 whites through there, and then the 2 blacks through there. They won't get pinched. That one's a little deeper, so those both should fit through there okay. Okay, so we run that black wire back around here. And then run this other black wire back around here, and there's little notches in there to help hold these things in place too. And we'll take our red and yellow wires, I think that probably wants to go that way. I think the main thing is just to make sure none of your wires are going to get pinched. Okay, so now we can hook our switch back up. So if you look here, we got red, yellow. So we'll just put those back the same way they came off. Okay, so I got that in there. And those need to run around behind on the back side. I see that now. And those two things screw in there. This cord can run behind. It doesn't matter really, as long as you got them tucked in good. But that works out good there. You know what? I got to put this in first. That's the switch. That needs to lay in there first, and then that little clip needs to go back on that tab right there. Well, you can see that. That's that little tab right there. So this clip just needs to be pressed back down. Let's see if I can get that on there without dropping it in there. All that tab is doing is holding the handle itself in, not the switch. And just working it around on there. You know what? I got a nut driver here. I bet that'll work pretty good for popping that down on there. At least got it started. Yeah, I got that clip back down in there now. Well, I don't know if it's all the way on there. I'm gonna give it just one more little whack. Yeah, I think that's on there good now. So that keeps that clip where that thing can move. I get to work the switch back down in there. Yeah, that feels right. That's pulling the switch. So get those wires tucked down in there good where they're not going to get pinched. And we can put our two last screws to hold our switch in place, which are also the T15s. Okay, that feels normal. So let's just recheck all of our wires, make sure everything's tucked in good, where nothing's going to get pinched when we put our cover back on. And we just take this one. Matter of fact, I do remember now, I think that is where that one was. It was just buried down in there. The one I don't feel good about is that black one right there. I think it's going to be okay now. So it looks like all that's going to work. So I'm going to line that thing back over that. And just kind of double check around. Yeah, I got that yellow wire pinched right there. Pull that through. I just happened to see that underneath on the bottom side, so that should be fine now. Okay, so relook at all my wires again. They'll look okay. Line that thing up on the back on that cord. Looks like everything's snapped down on there good and there's nothing pinched. So our fine threaded T20 screws went in the back. So I'm going to put one of those in. Okay, so this thing did not come with a handle, so I'm going to go grab the old handle. It just comes with this part, but the handle, the lifting handle, it does not actually come with that. So I'm going to go grab that and then we'll put it on and we ought to be done. I'll plug it in just to make sure that it works. Okay, so here's the old handle. I just got to take the screws out and screw it back into the into the new one. So I think that'll go either way. It's got 2 knobs and 2 screws. So I've always, when I lifted this thing up, I always grab it like this and pick it up. I hardly ever use that handle right there. And that's why my handle broke, I'm assuming. This thing's old. I mean, it's probably, if I had to guess, this thing is probably 10 years old. Maybe older than that, I don't know. I've had it for a long time and the handle lasted a long time, so I'm not gonna say it's shoddy equipment because it, you know, it's been a great saw. But I know now, lift with this handle, there'll be less stress on it than lifting off of the end down here. So it looks like we got it all back together. Now the true test, we got a switch and all the wiring and everything is good on it. So we'll plug it in and see if it runs. Okay. Just like new. Okay, well, I appreciate you watching. Like I said, I'll have links to the handle down there. And just remember, look for this type that you have to make sure you get the right one. Mine, everything fit perfect. Is the exact replica of the one that I had before. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Thank you.